This video deals with an alternative method of creating an import profile. This method is the correct one to use if your folder hierarchy reflects any questions you would ask and you have a large number of potential answers. For example, if you have a client directory and you want to accurately import information to the correct client, it would not be unusual for you to have hundreds or even thousands of client folders. To set this up using the method covered in our first video would be difficult and to some extent unworkable. The great beauty of the method I'm going to demonstrate today is that the possible answers list effectively automatically extends itself whenever a new folder is added to the directory. Before we start, we need to introduce you to a special DocMoto tag called import question. If an import question tag is applied to a folder and that folder forms part of an import profile, then the answers presented by the import profile will be the names of the subfolders. So firstly, let's just take a look at our folder structure. We're going to be creating a profile using the import question tag, which will guide the users to import files into the correct client directory. As you can see, we are in a folder called Client Directory, which has subdirectories broken down by letter, and each one of these contains our customer account folders, which have all been created by using a folder template. And if we now take a look at the Client Directory properties, we can see that we have an import question tag with a value of select a client. And this will form the first question in our import profile. Now, if we now take a look at the subdirectory properties, we can see that we have another import question, this time asking the user to select the client's name. And finally, if we take a look at one of our clients' folders by name, we will see a final import question, which is asking the user to select the correct client subfolder. Now that we have all of the import question tags in place, and as I mentioned, this could have been done using our folder templating system, we need to create an import profile. And as before, this is done through the Import Profile Manager. So I'm going to add a new profile called Clients. And now I need to tell the profile the source folder where it is to take material from. As I did in my previous video, I'm going to use the tilde so that this profile will work on any user's home directory. Whereas in the last video we specified a question, in this case the first action is to navigate to a folder, and the folder I'm going to choose is our client directory, which is the top level folder that we have applied our import question tag to. Now, whenever creating an import profile, we do have some options which we can adjust, but for now I'm going to leave them all as the default value. So our import profile has now been created. It really is as simple as that. So now we're going to use it. As in the previous video, a user will access this new client profile through the Import menu. The profile begins by displaying the source material we would like to import, and I'm going to just choose a couple of PDF files and press Next. And now the import profile automatically uses the questions we set up earlier to guide the user. So I'm just going to follow the sequence of questions, and based on my answer, DocMoto has deduced the correct folder where this file should be imported to. In this instance, I'm also being asked to complete a tag defining the type of accounting info this is. And once the files are imported, I'm then returned to the initial source folder view, which is now only displaying the files which remain unimported. So before we leave this topic, I'm just going to show you how flexible this method is by adding a new client folder to DocMoto. I'm going to add a folder called Bob Adds, and we have templating set up, so you will notice all of the correct subfolders for Bob's account have been created. Now, if we rerun the import profile, just selecting a file or two as before, and now we will follow the question sequence, you will notice on the second question asking for the client's name, Bob's name has been automatically added to this list. This is a very important feature of import profiles because based on this method it means that you can add as many new clients as you want to without ever having to spend any time adjusting or managing your import profile. Of course, in this example, we've dealt with customer records and client names, but these principles can just as easily be applied from everything from customer records to new projects. Thank you.